All right, what's going on, everyone? I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be bringing you my highly requested test hands video with my hero deck. I recently uploaded a deck profile, but I should let everyone know that I've made some slight changes to the main deck and side deck. The side deck won't be shown in this video because it's just going to be test hands in the scenario where you are in game one. So I'm going to be pile shuffling while I do this just to try to make it as random as possible. And I've been pile shuffling for my locals as well. I found that I've been drawing better hands that way, and a lot of stuff just doesn't get like clumped together and whatnot. So I am recording this with a tripod, and I have never made a test hand video before, so please bear with me. But anyway, we're going to be going over a few changes, so I'm not really going to make another deck profile anytime soon. I will have one for everyone to watch as soon as I place in my locals again. I was very close to placing last time. I lost in time round 3 to Draco Slayer, where I just got burned for time and there was literally no time left on the clock. It was unfortunate, but I did what I could. I really don't believe that I misplayed or anything, and I had to think about a lot of weird scenarios, so I did what I could. But that's the game you play in. Sometimes there's nothing you can do, and you got to be able to analyze what went right and what went wrong in your matches. So I'm going to be going over my thought process with these test hands we do, and we're just going to be assuming we go first. I'll just give it a couple more shuffles, and then we will get started. So in this video, I kind of just want to demonstrate, how my deck works, like I said, my thought processes, and just my theories behind the deck and the things I like to go for with this build and how it is set up that way. So we're going to be drawing 5 cards, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We will put the deck off to the side, and my extra deck is on my left, obviously. So we got Rhoda, we have Imperm, we have a Hero Lives, we have Shadow Mist, and we have Stratus. So this is a very playable hand, obviously, because with this deck, you want to see multiple starters in your opening hand because hand traps are everywhere this format. A lot of people at my locals, speaking of hand traps, one of the additions I made, which we will probably see in one of the opening hands, is I added Ash Blossom at 3 to my deck just because it seems like more than half my locals is playing branded, so I really want to be in a position where I can Ash branded fusion, and it's good against basically every deck. So obviously first here, what we're gonna want to do is the first thing that comes up here is, well, you're going to start with Hero Lives having your life points. But the first thing that comes up is if you want to go into Shadow Mist, because obviously there's a copy in my deck, or if you want to go into Stratos, I would probably go into Stratos here, as much as I love just going into Dark Law immediately, just because things like Ash and Imperm are really common, and you want to be able to play through it as hard as possible. That's why you want to see multiple starters in your opening hand. We're going to go Stratos, effect on summon to search, obviously, and that is going to let us grab Ferris. And the cool thing about this is we can easily play through multiple hand traps, and everyone at my locals plays Ash. You got to keep in mind what your locals might be playing. Everyone plays Imperm, so people sometimes misplay, and they like to Imperm to Stratos or Ash to Hero Lives, which I believe is 100% a misplay against heroes. So moving on, what we're going to do is there are some different plays you could make here to make Dark Law, but I don't think it's necessarily worth it right now in a game one where you don't know what your opponent has. So we're just going to discard Mist, do special Ferris, and then we're going to go Chainlink 1 Ferris, Chainlink 2, our Chainlink 1 Shadow Mist, Chainlink 2 Ferris, so that they cannot Ash the Shadow Mist. You get guaranteed search. So we're going to be placing the increase, obviously. There we go. Doesn't really matter which column you put it in. And then Shadow Mist is going to allow us to search. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a Liquid Soldier, because right now we're going to try to draw into something and potentially set up a Dark Angel Rivalry play. If you see Rivalry in your opening hand, you're 100% going for that. But there are other ways to potentially draw into it. So moving on, we have these in hand, and we're going to activate Increase, tributing Ferris's cost. We're going to activate Increase on Summon to bring out Vion. Then we're going to special Vion, use its effect to send Malicious. We're going to use Vion's second effect, and the banish you might not be able to see, but actually no, it's in the corner right there, so that's good. We're going to banish Ferris. This is one I usually like to banish. To add Polymerization, we're going to be going back into the deck shortly, so that's why we're not shuffling. Now we got these in hand, so what I want to do now is I want to use Rhoda to add the Denier from deck to hand. So now we've got the Denier in hand, and what we're going to go ahead and do is activate Poly. We're going to fuse Denier and Liquid Soldier for our Sunrise, and then on summon of Sunrise, we're going to go Chainlink 1 Liquid Soldier and Chainlink 2 Sunrise to add Miracle Fusion first on resolution and then draw, because you don't want to risk drawing into the Miracle Fusion. With the Liquid Soldier effect, when I was new to the deck, I've definitely done that before. So here's our Miracle Fusion. Now we're just going to give this a good shuffle. And now we have both Destiny Heroes in grave to set up plays for DPE and Cross Crusader. And yes, we're going to be making a Wonder Driver play so we can go into DPE, and we're going to hope we draw into Mask Change or Rivalry or something cool. Maybe a Hand Trap would help too. And now we are going to just 1, 2. Let's see what we get. We do get the Mask Change and the Dark Angel, so that's absolutely hilarious. What we're going to go ahead and do is just discard the Stratos, and now we can move on. Everything is in defense because I'm going for Dark Angel. So what we want to do now is I'm going to link Increase in Vion for Wonder Driver, and then we're going to activate Mali. We have tons of follow-up too, and everyone will see that. We're going to go Special Summon Mali, which will trigger Wonder Driver, which is always mandatory Chainlink 1. We're going to reset Poly to our field. So once again, you only need 1 Poly in this deck right now. There are scenarios where I like 2. I will not completely condemn playing 2 copies of Poly. It's perfectly understandable. I just don't like it at the current moment. So now we have the set Poly. What we want to do, we could just fuse these into DPE, but you want to have Sunrise too for board presence and the battle phase effect. We're going to make Cross Crusader, and then we're going to go Cross Crusader effect targeting our Denier. You want to hold off on using Deniers once per duel. That's why I like to always summon Denier with Cross Crusader first. And then you're going to use Denier's effect on summon to put back the Banished Malicious. There you go. Now what we want to do is activate Polymerization, fuse these, and we make the one and only Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. There you go. And now what we can do, we have so many heroes in grave, they're going to be losing so much. We are going to, let me see here. We can set the Imperm, we know that. We're going to activate DPE. So that way we can get the 3rd Destiny here. We're going to, on resolution, destroy itself and the Cross Crusader. And then we activate Engrave to get it back during the next standby phase. Now this makes Dark Angel live. So we're going to activate Dark Angel, target itself. We're just going to give it, we'll just say this is our opponent's field. So our opponent has Dark Angel. So they're locked out of the spells. We know how to play around them trying to get rid of the Dark Angel because we have this awesome spot removal with DPE, which just pairs with it absolutely perfectly. So the last move of this turn is we're going to be banishing Mali for its effect. We're going to special Mali, and then we're going to set the Mask Change, and sorry about that, little turbulence with the camera. We're going to set the Mask Change and pass, and we are going to still have our Miracle Fusion in hand. So next standby phase, what we're going to end on is we're going to bring back our DPE. They have Dark Angel, and we have set Imperm, and we have Mask Change. We Mask Change away the Malicious, and we bring out our Dark Law, our other best end board piece. So this is the standard board. The Sunrise doesn't really matter, but this is a standard board I'm going for because obviously that way this plays around Nibiru. The Nibiru would get rid of the Dark Angel, but even when they hit you with what they think is the highest impact hand trap in this game against hero, you're still ending on DPE. You're still ending on Dark Law because what you do is you always want to set the Mask Change so you can activate during your opponent's turn, because if you go into the Dark Law and then in Nibiru you, it's hard to play around it that way. So I highly recommend setting the Mask Change instead of just activating it. It's good in 9 times out of 10. You're going to want to do that. More than 9 times out of 10, I would say. So you're still at least ending on an Imperm, a DPE, and a Dark Law, with a follow-up of Miracle Fusion to make absolute 0. So that is the first test hand. Please let me know if you guys have any questions on the first test hand, and then I'm going to just start setting up the next play. We're going to do a few more test hands. Okay, so we're just going to be setting up our second test hand. I am going to add that with the last test hand, you want to leave the Denier live engraved for its once per duel effect in case you get hit with that Nibiru, and that's why you're saying the mass change. You'll at least have the Dark Body next turn. You got DPE coming back because you obviously just chain DPE to Nibiru. So you'll be good to go, and that's what I like to do. You have to play around the most common hand traps. Obviously, I'm pretty much always ending on Darklaw DPE in that scenario, at the very least. And on top of that, we had Dark Angel and an Imperm, so it was a very strong board. So we are just going to give this a quick shuffle and hop right into the second test hand. Like I said earlier, I recommend pile shuffling. I've seen more consistency with my deck that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, here we go. Let's do this. We got Poly, Shadow Mist, Plasma, Ferris, and Vion. So Ferris and Vion with the discard is not terrible because if your increase gets ashed, then you can just normal Vion. That's the way I like to look at it. So we're going to go ahead here and discard the Mist to special Ferris, and we're going to go Chainlink 1, Shadow Mist, Chainlink 2, Ferris, so you can't get ashed. We'll go ahead and put the increase here, and then we'll resolve Shadow Mist. So I'm just going to check. We opened Poly again, which is interesting. But we are going to go ahead and grab Liquid because we're going to try to get the... Or do I want Liquid, actually? We do have the Plasma in hand. We could go for... You know what? Since we have Plasma in hand, I think I'd like to show you just a nice and simple DPE Plasma play, which we could still easily do. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and add Stratos. We can tribute for increase, use increases effect on summon. So once again, we have the Stratos because we haven't normal summoned. Just good to get the extra body for the link plays and to have the extra search. I went right past Vion, I believe. Did I? I'm having... Okay, there's Vion. Okay, we're going to go Vion effect on summon. Setting Mali. We are not going to banish for Poly because it's already in our hand. It's not always a brick. It helps you out of many tough situations. I love just polying into Trinity from hand and going for games. Sometimes going second. That's all you need in certain situations. So we will now link these for our Cross Crusader. We're going to go Cross Crusader effect, targeting Mali. We're going to go Cross Crusader effect again, tributing Mali for our Denier. There you go. That's going to get us some extenders in the graveyard. Lovely card once again. Now we'll normal Stratos, use its effect to search. We're going to search is our Liquid Soldier, so we could try to draw into Mask Change or something like that. So this is really not a great hand, but we can still, we have so many extenders in this deck that we can still kind of go somewhat crazy with it and end on some good disruptions. So now what we're going to do is activate Poly, which will get our Denier and our Liquid Soldier in the graveyard. Actually, no, before we do that, move that back real quick. We're going to link these into our Wonder Driver. It doesn't really matter when you do this. I would just prefer to do it now. Potentially bait out Nibiru and stuff like that. So then we will drop the Poly. We'll go Denier and Liquid into Sunrise, and then we're going to go Chainlink 1 Wonder Driver, Chainlink 2 Liquid Soldier, Chainlink 3 Elemental Hero Sunrise. So we're going to resolve this chain, searching out our Miracle Fusion, which will be right here near the top of the deck. And then we're going to give us a quick shuffle because we will be drawing off of the Liquid Soldier. And Vion is basically a free discard now, so that's why it's fine. We still have that in hand. Sometimes you want to make sure you have a good discard for Liquid Soldier effect. It's not always crucial, but we get the Rivalry, so that's huge. And we get the Fusion Destiny, so that's hilarious. We don't even need to use that. And then we're going to discard that. We can honestly hold that for next turn if we wanted to and go to Dangerous. And then we will resolve Wonder Driver, putting our Polymerization back. Now what we're going to do is we are going to banish Mali from grave for effect. We'll bring out the other Mali. And we don't care about having an attack mode monster because we're not going for Dark Angel. So that's always nice. There's the Mali, the one, the only. Now we can use Wonder Driver, not Wonder Driver. You can use Deniers once per duel because it's a different situation where you don't need to conserve resources as carefully. We put that back. Now we flip the Poly. We make DPE. Since we drew into Rivalry, Dark Angel would be nice here, but we already committed to Plasma, so it's fine, but that's just something to remember. And the way it happened after using the Liquid draw made it so we kind of have to no longer go for Dark Angel in this instance, but that is perfectly okay. And we still have the body on board. That's why we went to Stratos in the first place, to get all these bodies on board. We have the Reset Mali via Denier's effect, and then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to tribute these three. Plasma, if they Bystial you, you can just absorb the Bystial. You got Plasma, you got Skill Drain on field, you got the Quick Effect Pop, you got the Set Rivalry, you got these two power spells for follow-up, and then you can lock your opponent into whatever. And this is a very nice board for a not so great hand. And so let me know if you have questions or comments about this test hand, and I'm going to be doing one more, so I'm just going to set that up real quick. All right, we are getting ready for the final test hand. I could very well make a sequel to this video. Once again, please just let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. Appreciate the support regardless, because it's just getting kind of long. I don't like my videos to be too long. I like to upload videos that are a length where if someone else made the video, I would want to watch it and not feel bored halfway through. So give this one last good cut. And after we pile shuffled, we're ready to draw our opening hand, our last opening hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's go. Let's see what we got. We got Ferris, Rivalry, Stratos, Mass Change, and Mali. So this is a straight up bananas hand. So what we're going to go ahead and do, without committing to our normal summon yet, we're going to discard Mali to special summon our Ferris. We're going to use Ferris's effect on summon, bringing out our increase to our spell and trap zone, obviously. Once we've done that, we go ahead and tribute. Increase, we go increase effect, we go Vion, and we're going to use Vion's effect on summon in order to send Shadow Mist to the graveyard this time. We're going to trigger Shadow Mist, and then we're going to use its effect to add, where is he? Where's the blue guy? Liquid Soldier. And this hand is absolutely crazy. We're gonna go so hard with this board. You will see. All right, now we're gonna go Vion effects, banish Ferris for cost to add our polymerization. And I don't know about everyone else, but I am stoked for the TCG release of the Wake Up Your Elemental Hero Fusion Monster. In the Collector's Rare, I'm going to try to get my hands on that. We're going to normal Stratos and use its effect to search. This is going to allow us to grab our Denier. So we haven't even gone into Cross Crusader yet, and we have all the pieces we need for our Dark Angel Rivalry lock. Spoilers, you probably could tell that's what we're going for. That is, like I said in my deck profile, one of the main win conditions of the entire deck. It's absolutely insane. I'm really happy with what I've been able to do with this deck and what I've learned over the past year or so. We're going to go Poly here. We're going to use our Liquid Soldier and our Denier. Sunrise. We're going to go Sunrise effect on summon. Chainlink 1, Liquid Soldier, Chainlink 2, Sunrise for those Chainlinks. We're going to go ahead, add our Miracle Fusion. It was nice to see one of those hands because that hand is a crazy hand. It's a definitely lucky hand, but it's sort of, I see those hands a lot at locals, and I see them just testing or whatever I'm doing. Test hands, anything it may be, because that's what this deck is designed to do, remember. We are basically making it so our opponent can't play the game, because that's how you win in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, as you know. So we got our Miracle Fusion, and we draw 2. We draw Fusion Destiny and another Rivalry. So what's crazy about this is we actually don't even need the Fusion Destiny, but I'll just discard a Rivalry because you only really need one. Sometimes they are able to out-one, but you're kind of just banking that they won't. I will just add the Fusion Destiny instead, so we have more extenders if we get hit with hand traps. If you're doing this in reality, we're gonna link for Wonder Driver, and I'm showing you don't even need the power spells like Fusion Destiny to end on crazy boards in Hero in this day and age. We're gonna banish Mali for its effect to special summon a copy of itself. This will trigger the Wonder Driver resetting poly. So as you can see, Wonder Driver is putting in work and resource economy in these combos. It's crazy that some builds don't play it, but most of the builds I see nowadays play it. So now we link these two. So we don't want any attack position monsters. We're going for Dark Angel. We're going to be popping that with DP. In short notice, we're going to go Cross Crusader effect, so we don't have to use a Denier. Denier on summon. We'll put back our DP. We'll put back our Mally. And then we are going to activate Poly, fusing these into DPE. You could tribute first and then summon the Mally, but you don't really have to. You can activate that, tribute for Cross Crusader effect, and then we're going to go ahead and add our, where is it? Dark Angel, there it is, from deck to hand. So that's something. You have multiple options here. We're going to do the option where it's not as efficient, but you can play around Nib this way. I want to give you another example of how you could do that in this deck. So we have 2 Destiny Heroes, so obviously you're going to pop DPE and Cross Crusader, get the attack position monster off the field. Now we discard Dark Angel, target itself, give it to our opponent. That's going to be our act as our opponent's field right over there. We can set the Rivalry. And what I'm going to do, so we have the Denier live engrave. So you know what? Actually, we don't even need to do it sort of that inefficient of a way. We have the Denier live engrave, because we also have the Miracle Fusion in hand. So like I said, I play a Skirt out. So what we're going to do is we're going to Denier, bring itself back, and we already use this put back effect. So we're going to set the mass change. And look at this. We're ending on 2 crazy power spells once again with potential follow. So if they nibbed you, what you could do is they get rid of Dark Angel, but you're still on DP, Dark Law, Rivalry, which is a disgusting board. And then you would have Miracle live. You would Miracle into a Skirt out to get the Dark Body on board for a mass change, and you for Dark Law. And then you still have Sunrise. If they try to swing over stuff in battle, you'll be able to deal with it. That can help you deal with, unfortunately, leaving your monsters in attack mode too when you're not supposed to. So we're going to pass turn here. It's going to be opponent standby. We're going to bring back DPE resolving its effect. We are going to flip the Rivalry. So this is essentially the optimal hero board, this format. This is what I strongly suggest you guys go for if you're trying to figure out what to end on in this format against Branded, Cashier, etc. Rivalry Dark Angel is just automatically game against many, many decks. So we have the Mask Change 2. Not Mask Change 2, but Mask Change as well. So we have our one-sided Macrocosmos, we have our quick effect non-target pop, we have our battle phase pop, we have Rivalry, so they can't summon anything that's not a warrior, and they can't use any spells, and we have easy OTK just with these alone pretty much, with the boost and the Sunrise pop. An amazing follow-up next turn. So this is going to give you an idea of what to do going first. It's kind of hard to make a test hands video going second. You would basically just be doing live duels at that point. I could make something like that if you want to see. Please be sure to let me know in the comments below. This video is getting kind of long and I have to figure out ways to make it a little shorter. So I will see everyone next time. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support, and I love this deck so much. My favorite deck in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm so glad so many people like it. I'm so glad that some people could hopefully learn something from this, or just get to share the experience of discussing the hero deck with some cool people online. So yes, please leave a like, please subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.